Did you know MrBeast has spent millions on everything from private islands and Lamborghinis to building a real-life Willy Wonka chocolate factory? He's even dropped $80,000 on Orbeez and nearly $1 million on Lego bricks just for fun. So how does one of the most extravagant YouTubers on the planet really spend his fortune? The guy doesn't just live large, he lives extra large. Jimmy has spent over $4.6 million on cars alone, and it's not just your standard sports car collection. We're talking about 12 Lamborghinis, costing him around $2.4 million, and 30 Teslas that set him back $1.2 million. That's before you even factor in the jet-powered cars he's built. Yes, you heard that right, cars with jet engines attached to them. And let's not forget the time he got caught up in an illegal street race, pushing his BMW i8 to over 120 miles per hour, which landed him in hot water with the police. It's not every day your reckless driving lands you in jail, but for Jimmy, it's just another story to tell. But cars are just the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to living like a king, MrBeast has taken it literally by purchasing not one, but 2 private islands. The first one cost him $800,000, and he made some epic content out of it. Then, when he hit 100 million subscribers, he went all out and bought a $2 million island that looks like something straight out of a postcard. It's wild to think about owning even one island, let alone 2. But for Jimmy, it's all in a day's work. The total? A cool $2.8 million, all for a couple of slices of paradise. Now, if private islands weren't enough, Jimmy has also spent millions on private jets, but not for the reasons you'd think. From a jaw-dropping challenge where participants competed to win a jet by keeping their hand on it to extravagant giveaways and stunts, jets have become another tool in his arsenal of over-the-top content. One of his most famous videos even compared the experience of flying on a $1 plane ticket versus a $500,000 luxury jet. It's like he looks at things most people dream about and says, how can I take this to the next level? Speaking of living the dream, let's talk about his luxury vacations. Jimmy's idea of a vacation is anything but ordinary. He's dropped $410,000 traveling to places like Paris, where he rented out the Eiffel Tower for a private experience, and Switzerland, where he stayed at a resort so exclusive that even world leaders vacation there. He even topped it all off with a trip to Japan to hang out with YouTube legends. Each of these trips was filmed for his channel, of course, because even on vacation, MrBeast doesn't really take a break. Let me take you back to one of MrBeast's first mind-blowing stunts, the Orbeez experiment. Imagine a backyard completely filled with colorful water beads, shimmering in the sunlight like a giant rainbow sea. That's exactly what Jimmy did when he spent a staggering $80,000 on Orbeez. It wasn't just a small kiddie pool or a couple of buckets. He went all out and filled his friend's entire backyard. The visuals were mesmerizing, and the internet ate it up. This video was so viral that it didn't just bring in millions of views, it sparked a nationwide craze for Orbeez. But as with most viral moments, there was an unexpected downside. Orbeez, while fun and harmless looking, started showing up in headlines for all the wrong reasons. Kids were swallowing them, thinking they were candy, and some ended up choking. Hospitals saw a surge in cases, and the tiny water beads became a big problem for parents everywhere. Now, let's be clear, MrBeast wasn't responsible for any of this directly. He just wanted to create an epic video, but still, it's wild to think how a $10 bag of water beads turned into an $80,000 stunt that had a ripple effect far beyond his backyard. And just when you think he couldn't get any flashier, there's his gold obsession. Jimmy has spent a whopping $396,000 on gold-plated meals. It started small with $10,000 on gold-covered steaks, but then it escalated to a $76,000 gold pizza. The cherry on top, a golden steak with golden ice cream that cost $150,000 in one sitting. I mean, can you even imagine? It's like he's turning food into art and then eating it. When it comes to creating content, MrBeast doesn't just think big, he thinks massive. Let's start with something straight out of a gamer's dream. A Fortnite battle buses. Yes, Jimmy went all out and had not one but 2 custom-made battle buses built. If you've ever played Fortnite, you know the iconic blue bus that drops players into the game. Well, Jimmy brought it to life. One of the buses was gifted to streamer Tofu, while the other was upgraded with extra features features for his videos. Together, these buses cost him a jaw-dropping $225,000. Who else spends that kind of money turning virtual vehicles into reality? Only MrBeast. Then there's his love for Legos. Except Jimmy doesn't mess around with small sets like the rest of us. He spent nearly $1 million on Lego projects, including filling an entire house with 10 million Lego bricks and building the world's largest Lego tower. Just imagine that for a second. A tower so massive that it made every childhood Lego dream look like a warm-up. And these weren't just random stunts. They were part of his mission to create the most unique and eye-catching content on the platform. Watching him turn a pile of bricks into something spectacular is oddly satisfying and a little mind-blowing. Now, if you thought Legos were extreme, wait until you hear about his explosive stunts. Jimmy has a long-running love affair with blowing things up. It started with smaller fireworks displays, but quickly escalated to massive explosions that leveled houses and created giant craters. He even went as far as orchestrating a train explosion, not once, but twice. In total, his explosive projects have cost around $2.4 million. There's just something about watching controlled chaos unfold that makes these videos unforgettable. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to see a train go boom? But perhaps one of his most iconic creations is his recreation of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Remember the magical factory from the classic movie? Jimmy brought it to life, complete with a chocolate river, candy rock wall, marshmallow room, and even a feastable section. The whole thing cost him $1 million to build, and it was a masterpiece of sugary wonder. Watching contestants explore this edible dreamland made you feel like a kid again, and it's no surprise the video racked up millions of views. One of the most jaw-dropping things he's done is spend over $1.18 million on lottery tickets and high-stakes gambling. He started small, buying a few scratch-offs here and there, but it quickly escalated into a full-blown spectacle. At one point, he bought thousands of lottery tickets just to see if he could hit it big, and spoiler alert, he didn't win enough to make it worth the cost. But for Jimmy, it wasn't about the winnings. It was about the journey and the insane content that came out of it. Watching him scratch off ticket after ticket with his friends was weirdly addictive for viewers. It's like he was living out everyone's dream of what if when you go to the gas station to buy a lotto ticket. But Jimmy's gambling streak didn't start with scratch-offs. Back in his early days on YouTube, he got involved with CSGO gambling. If you don't know, CSGO is a popular video game that had a controversial system allowing players to gamble virtual weapon skins for real money. Jimmy was sponsored by one of these platforms, ironically called CSGO Big, when he had about 500,000 subscribers. This sponsorship led to some backlash because the system was seen as promoting gambling to kids, and many players lost big. Most of those videos have since been deleted, but it's a reminder of how even MrBeast had some questionable moments in his early career. Then there's his leap into the world of cryptocurrency. At one point, Jimmy invested $2.2 million in Bitcoin, which turned out to be a smart move considering how much its value has fluctuated. But his venture into crypto didn't stop there. He also spent $2 million on a warehouse specifically designed to mine Bitcoin. Unfortunately, this didn't go as planned. The cost of running the warehouse, especially the electricity bills, outweighed the profits he was making from mining. It was a financial loss, but for Jimmy, it was another bold experiment. And let's face it, bold risks are kind of his thing. For all his extravagant spending, MrBeast is just as passionate about giving back. If you followed his journey, you've probably heard of Team C's and Team Trees. These are two of the largest fundraisers ever launched by a YouTuber. Team Trees, which started in 2019, aimed to plant a tree for every dollar donated. It ended up raising over $20 million, and Jimmy personally donated $200,001. Then came Team C's in 2021, a project dedicated to cleaning up the ocean. For every dollar donated, 1 pound of trash was removed from the water. This campaign raised over $30 million, with Jimmy contributing $100,011 of his own money. And yes, those extra dollars were just to one-up his friend and collaborator, Mark Robber, on the leaderboard. But philanthropy doesn't stop there for MrBeast. One of his most touching series of videos involves his life-changing humanitarian efforts. He spent around $1.3 million on projects like curing blindness for 1,000 people and building 100 wells to provide safe drinking water in African communities. These aren't just feel-good moments. They're real, tangible actions that change lives forever. And the best part, he uses his platform to inspire millions of viewers to care about these causes too. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.